I hate my job, bruh. I promise you I hate it. Listen, this is what people come to me with every single day, and I promise you I feel you. The reason why you got that job is for a purpose. You don't realize it yet, but I promise you I'm about to make it make sense to you today. God makes no mistakes, so if you there, you're supposed to be there, and if you ain't, he will remove you in due time, all right? So check this out. So I had a lot of jobs. My very first job was working at the Oklahoma City Zoo. I worked there for 6 years. I had warehouse jobs after that, call center jobs, all kind of jobs. You name it, but I'm explaining you each one and what each job taught me now that I realize it, because I didn't realize it back then when I was working there, but now that I'm older, more mature, God has revealed things to me on this journey. I want to share it with you. So watch this video in its entirety, because I promise you when we get to the end, it's gonna make your face light up. Check this out. So when I was working at the Oklahoma City Zoo, I loved that job. Like I said, I worked there for 6 years. I got to the point where I was so good at the job that they promoted me to supervisor, all right? When I became supervisor, I was not doing what I was supposed to do. I was still back there clowning in the kitchen, having a good old time, just recording videos for YouTube way back then, just all kind of stuff. It was a mess, and they demoted me. And that job taught me, when you become a man, you let go of childish things, all right? I was not letting go of the childish things, and therefore they said, look, you're not fit for this position. We got to demote you. And they demoted your boy. Another thing it taught me is whatever you can't manage, you will lose. Whether it's relationships, whether it's money, whatever it is. So remember that. The next job I had, it was a warehouse job, right? And it was my first day. I walked in there. I seen 3 people on this diesel. It was like a diesel bed, and the back of the truck was filled with diesel tires. So you had to throw the tires off, stack them on pallet jacks, wrap it up, and continue to do that all day. Now, this is my first day. I knew nothing. So when I walked in, the manager like, yo, go holler at them guys right there, and they'll get you going, get you what you need to do. All right, I'm like, cool. I go holler at them. They're like, yeah, hop on this truck, bro, and start throwing these tires off. And I'm like, okay, cool. So I'm doing that, and I'm doing it, and then I start noticing, like, bro, ain't nobody helping me. Like, at first it was 3 of y'all, but ain't nobody helping. So I'm thinking like, ah, okay, whatever. I'm just doing it. Get halfway through the truck, right? And one of the guys, well, the guys that wasn't there, but it was a new guy that came in. He was like, yo, are they having you do this by yourself? And I'm like, yeah, I've been doing it by myself. They're like, bro, they played you, bro, because this is a 3-man job. It'll take you all day to do this. And I'm thinking like, dang, that's messed up. So that job taught me never to let people get over on you. Because now that we're here in this position now, with all the stuff that we got, it's a lot of people that try to get over on us, right? When it's contractors, we've been renovating our house, and there's so many people that see the size of our house and say, yo, we're gonna charge you X amount, way over what they should be charging, right? And then when we talk to a couple other contractors, they like, yo, you getting overcharged, bro. They trying to play you. So now that job allowed me to realize, hey, don't let people get over on you, all right? The job after that I had was Lowe's. Lowe's was another one of my favorite jobs. I had my boy Taylor there, rest in peace, Taylor. This job right here, like I was doing the same thing. Like I was unloading trucks, this, that, and the third, right? When I had came from the zoo and the other job, I wasn't getting paid much, so it was only like $9 something an hour, $9.50, $9.75, something like that, right? So I get to the new job, and I'm talking to these guys out there as we loading up these cars with mulch and rocks and all this stuff outside of Lowe's, right? And we kind of go, we got on the topic of how much each one of us are getting paid, right? So I said $9.75, and they like, that's it? And I'm like, yeah. And they like, what'd you make at your last job? And I was like, oh, like about the same. And they was like, oh, bro, you should have lied on the application. Like, it was like, we told them at our last job that we make $11 something an hour. So they started us at 11. And I'm thinking like, dang, we doing the same work, and I'm getting paid way less than y'all, right? Didn't think nothing of it, just kept working, doing my thing. Long story short, all of them got fired. I was the only one who remained, and then a whole new crew came after that. So that taught me never lie to get ahead. So the job after that I had was at a call center, and this was at a mortgage call center, right? So I kind of got to learn a lot about the housing, how to take care of a house, how to not fall behind on payments. So we was in the collections department where we collect people's houses if they didn't pay on them, you know what I'm saying? So you could only imagine them kind of phone calls. So it was a really high intense, angry, every single day phone calls, people cussing you out. Like they was firing me up every day, and I didn't do nothing, you know what I'm saying? But that job taught me how to take people coming against you even when you did nothing. It reminds you of Jesus, right? He went through all of that. He did nothing to nobody. The man lived a perfect life, but people still came against him. It also taught me how to hold my tongue. If you don't remember, in 2020, when I first dropped and started going viral, it was so many people that came against me, bro. This job helped me prepare for that. Why? Because I didn't let it get to me. I held my tongue. I didn't respond to them. I didn't do none of that. And now we living good. We still living good. God is good, and that's what it is. is. The next job I had was another warehouse job where we had these pallet jack forklifts, right? So you get into the warehouse, it's a team meeting in the morning, and they say, yo, we got 40 or 50,000 pieces that we need to get on these pallet jacks wrapped up before such and such, right? So we had to work 10 to 12 hour days. It's times where you would get there and somebody don't show up and you'll have to get they load, right? And you have to stack up all these. I'm talking about, if you ain't never had one of those soda, you know, the big soda things that they put in the soda machines, you put those on the pallets. You had to put, you know, stacks and stacks of green beans, and you got to stack them up super high. And that's only one round. You got to go 12, 15 more rounds around the warehouse doing that over and over and over. So your body tired, your back hurting, this, that, and the third. One thing it did teach me was time management, because if you didn't get there on time, you was gonna have a rough day, bro. It was a long day already, so if you didn't get there on time, you was gonna be out of luck, right? Another thing it taught me was to know your worth. I realized I was worth way more than what they was paying me. Most people hate jobs because they're overworked and underpaid, and that was definitely the case in this situation. So I did find my worth. It's way too much on my body, and y'all not paying me enough to be here like that. So know your worth. All right, so for my last two jobs, these two jobs were a blessing in disguise. Many times God is gonna show you the promise, but he won't show you how it's gonna unfold. He won't show you how you're gonna get there. So I had hints throughout my life that I was gonna be a successful businessman. When people asked me when I was younger, a little kid, what did I want to be? I always said a successful businessman. I always saw the men with the suits on, briefcase, and I just wanted to do that. Didn't really care for to be in the NBA or none of that stuff. Even though I did play basketball, I didn't really care for it. And that's the reason why I didn't go to college and do it, you know, professionally, because I could have. But these last two jobs were the biggest blessing in disguise. So I went through all of those other jobs to get to these last two. Didn't know what I was doing at the time, but when God revealed this to me, it blew my mind. So check this out. I worked at Galaxy Home Recreation in Oklahoma City. I worked there, and at that job, we were putting together pool tables, playground sets, jacuzzi tubs, you name it, it was there, patio furniture, all that, right? The second job I had after that one, because that job was paying $9-something an hour, this last job was Oswald Restaurant Supply in Oklahoma City. And that job, we was delivering to all these different restaurants, right? High-end restaurants, low-end restaurants, this, that, and the third, right? So get back to the Galaxy. This job allowed me to be in so many mansions, y'all. So many mansions, because you're doing pool tables, patio furnitures, jacuzzi tubs, and playground sets. Most people in the hood is not gonna have no big old massive playground set. So all these installs were in big mansion, right? Crazy big houses, game rooms, this, that, and the third, right? So the whole time I'm at this job, I'm trying to record, you know, for my own documentation, like, yo, I need to have something like this one day. One thing I forgot to mention is that the same job that I worked installing pool tables and all that, basketball goals, is the same company I hired to install my pool table and my basketball goal. And in that time, I was still able to talk to them and inspire them, because I used to be exactly where they were at that moment. And that blew their mind. Didn't know how I was gonna get it, had no clue, right? Didn't know. But I was there. I was getting in trouble sometimes too, because he's like, yo, you can't be recording this kind of stuff, bro. These people house. I'm like, bro, this is crazy. Ain't never been nothing like this before. So I'm in the midst of trying to do pool tables and do all this stuff and install, and still looking around like, this is dope. You know what I'm saying? At that job, like I said, I was only making $9 an hour, right? At my other job, after this one, the Oswald job, I had to deliver to all of these different restaurants. Crazy thing is, these restaurants was in the part of town that I currently live in right now. So what God was showing me through that job is that I actually found the house I live in now through that job. As driving through, I had to drive through a certain part of town in the city, and I drove past the neighborhood I'm in now. And when I drove past it, I said, dang, that's dope. I seen it was gated. I seen all the big houses over there. I'm like, man, that'd be dope to live in one day. And one day I broke down crying. I was driving through neighborhoods that didn't have gates on the job. I was driving through neighborhoods, and one day I just stopped and I started crying. I was like, Lord, man, I don't know how I'm gonna be able to live this life. Like, I feel like I ain't got no more hope. I don't know. I just really didn't know how it was gonna happen, right? And I'm just like, Lord, please, one day, I just wanna live like this one day. So I held on to that one day. And every point that I hit at that job, so I had hit every different restaurants. I was hitting schools to provide them kitchen supplies for the kitchen at the school. I was going to all these different destinations. Long story short, y'all, every place I hit, I currently go to right now. So basically what I'm telling you is that God was bringing me through every place that I would touch in the future because I literally touch every single place now where I currently live, right? So I found this house driving by this neighborhood. I saw a house over here. I looked up the neighborhood name while I was broke, while I was only making $9 an hour. I looked up the neighborhood name, found the house that I'm currently living in. It was on the market for 2 years, right? Because it was old and outdated. It was huge, but it was old and outdated. And I was like, I want that house. Definitely didn't have enough money for it at all, right? So I wrote it down, all right? I prayed over it. And I'm like, look, don't know how, but hopefully I can live over there one day because the neighborhood is dope. All right, boom. This was in 2019, 2020, I already know what happened. YouTube took off, everything took off, trading took off.
This is what our Mondays look like. This is what work should look like. What is the world doing? Y'all better trade Forex. We kicking it. 11 standards. Look at that, man.
I realized, yo, I got enough money to go get that crib that I was looking at years ago, right? I got enough money to go get it. Long story short, we got it. We in it right now. God is good. You know what I'm saying? So I'm telling y'all all that to say this. Where you are is where you're supposed to be, all right? Do not despise small beginnings. I promise you it's gonna be worth it. And if you wanna be blessed even more, make sure you go check out this video right here and go follow the vlog channel because I got a lot of vlogs showing you a blessed life. We're gonna get straight into it. Holla at me. Peace.